It's Jenny, man.
Oh, stop! I'm gonna cry.
She's so little. Oh my gosh, Jenny. Aw, you cute.
I think it's safe to say that 2020 was a pretty dark year for everyone. However, for me personally, I had a light. And that light was Jenny's. Hi. Hi. I swear I'm not a dog mom. Literally have a shirt made for her. Guys, I realize as far as everyone knows, Jenny came through a mirror and is Isaac's dog, but yeah, you can't pull animals through mirrors. That's not possible. I feel like I gotta spell that out for some people. But not a lot of people know the real story of how I got Jenny, which honestly, it deserves its own video because it's pretty insane. I don't even know if Jenny knows how I got her because it was a whirlwind. We're gonna start from the very beginning, guys. Since I was a kid, I have always had dogs. Had a beagle named Betsy, had like a Cocker Spaniel named Harry. Now these technically aren't my dogs, but it's like the family dog, so it's as close as you're gonna get, especially when you're a kid. We had a whole set of labs. We had Barney and Fred, freaking named after Flintstones characters. And then we had the set of dogs that you guys became more familiar with, and that's Ella, Luna, and John. Now growing up with dogs, it's like you're always accustomed to them. You're used to like giving them table scraps or just like cuddling together, hanging out or watching TV. So when you all of a sudden don't have a dog, it starts to feel a little weird. And it seems like if you grew up with dogs, you're probably eventually gonna have a dog of your own. So growing up with them was like a huge impetus behind me getting a dog. However, it was really Ella. Ella was such a special dog to me. It was technically Jeffrey's dog. However, more often than not, pretty much every day for a solid few years, my parents would both go to work and Jeffrey would go to work as well. I'd be basically having a babysit all three dogs. We'd be like filming videos, doing random crap, just playing around. And I developed a really, really close relationship with Ella. You guys probably know her from old videos of mine. She was like one of my very first actresses. She was great to work with, by the way, believe it or not. And she just had a vibe about her that was like super comfortable. It's a little overweight, but hey, those are the best dogs. There's more to love, right? We just kind of became best friends, and that's what a dog is. It's man's best friend. Unfortunately, the good times don't last forever, and in 2018, she got all these cancerous tumors and died literally like that. Yeah, I understand I just snapped, but it's just I just snapped my fingers, alright? We're out of this. No more series going on, alright? Watching Ella get put down after such a long relationship with her really kind of gutted me and then kind of just closed me off to like dogs in general. I'm like, this is miserable. It was as close to Marley and me as you could possibly get. You know, when you watch a dog get put down, something so innocent and pure, and then you just see them go lifeless, it's just traumatizing. And that ish has haunted me into 2019 and into 2020. I mean, you never forget it, right? But Ella was only 10 years old. She definitely had a few more years left in her, so it's pretty unfortunate what happened. And what happened in 2019 was, as you guys know, I moved out of my parents' house, so I no longer had any dogs. I moved in here, and to be honest, it was generally pretty lonely. You know, Jeffrey came through. We had Scamp in the house. Jeffrey, you know, had to really kind of replace Ella to some capacity or fill the void. So he got Scamp. Scamp was great, don't get me wrong. But once I got my own place, I was like, I don't want the dog hair everywhere. Scamp, keep her over there. I barely saw her much. She's quirky, like in a funny way. It's interesting. The dog personalities are just like people. Like there's just different energies. Scamp's got a great energy to her. But there was something that just like Ella had that was hard to replicate. So 2019, 2020, I'm just kind of going through the motions, you know. Videos are coming, but it gets lonely here, right? And I miss that connection and that dog connection. So then all of a sudden the pandemic hits, right? And Ashley and I are dating, and I'm like, yo, look, you should come over here and we quarantine together, you know? It was like the new Netflix and shows, like, yo, let's quarantine, right? And so I told her, I was like, just let's have unlimited sleepovers, right? You're graduating college, just come over and just sleep over every night. She was like, well, look, if I'm gonna do that, I gotta bring my dog Mason. Now, I had met Mason only a small handful of times, and generally I was always, and this is somebody growing up with big dogs most of their life, the small dogs I always judged like a lot. I was like, that's a yappy dog, that's like a little poodle mutt. I don't want no little dog. Now Mason, for a littler breed, is a fat like he is a big dog. So I was like, look, if you gotta bring him, it's whatever. Maybe it'll be funny. Maybe we can get him in some videos, whatever. Little did I know, Mason's a savage. And I don't mean that in like he like gets around and he's crazy or whatever. He's like savage in a good way, in the sense like he does nothing. He just eats like 3 bowls of food, drinks bowls and bowls of water like a camel, and he just lays around and does nothing. But you could tell he's got a heart of gold. What I didn't anticipate was Mason brought such Ella vibes into the house and back into my heart, and I fell in love with him. Me and Mason got along famously. It's like we had known each other for a lifetime. It was great. Mason fit right in here, super comfortable on videos, and Mason was great. It was like, it was always meant to be. Then something pretty tragic happened. Ashley's other dog that was still staying at the parents' house, Bailey, freak thing happened. Have no idea what caused it. Even the doctors didn't know. Bailey somehow started suffering from this like anemia or some blood-related disease, and her body was like rejecting her blood or something. And we went to different doctors. I was like, yo, I was like, oh, we gotta pay to get the best treatment. We took her into Philly. We tried to do everything. We tried everything we could. And Bailey, only being a few years old, like pretty much Jenny's age, passed away. Like suddenly, abruptly. It was pretty traumatizing, pretty sad. It was just up. So it was like, what is going on? Like, how is there nothing good, you know? The doctors were baffled. They didn't even know. They were like, there's nothing we can do. I was like, what? How is this a thing? And so we were all pretty rocked. However, it got my wheels spinning. I'm like, we need something good. And Mason was good. That was my like smooth brain logic. It's like, Mason, we need good. Mason good. We need another Mason. So I realized after missing Ella for so long, Mason filled the void, but I was always jealous because Mason was Ashley's dog. I didn't know how long Ashley would be staying here. Turns out it's like semi-permanent. And I was like, dang, I kind of want what they have. Like Ashley's giving him a bath and like they're all cuddled up like BFF, and I'm like, I want like a little animal that like follows me. It's probably the same thing with that one, a little human, a little version of yourself walking around. That's my face of like, wait, Jesse, are you trying to say like kids? No, guys, whoa, one thing at a time here, all right? I'm just talking about fur babies, okay? So finally, I think it was time for this young man to get his first actual dog. Like the dog that he would call his own, that would call me master. Reopen the deep wounds. Mason already reopened the wounds, right? So I'm like, I'm ready. We're about to embark on the Storyfire marketing push. I'm stressed to all hell. And I gotta say, honestly, maybe I should tell Jenny this, that thank you. She's just like, what the f? Thank you, Jenny, for existing. Because I get like super stressed all the time and it's pretty miserable. And then like the grind is endless. You got the loneliness that I mentioned, to where I'm like, you know what? F it. There's something about a dog like you that just simplifies everything and kind of removes like anxieties and stresses. Like, oh, she's a pain in the ass to like take care of. But for somebody high functioning like myself, or really anyone, I'm just like, chill. It's like innocence, right? It reminds me of being a kid. I'm like, oh, it's just, it ain't that serious. It reminds you to kind of like look at the little things, or as Ella taught me, to like stop and smell the roses. So I was like, you know what, I'm finally ready. I'm getting a dog. Which is like a pretty big declaration, because like longer term commitments like this, if it's not, the only long term commitment I've ever been good at has been YouTube, and that's it. Everything else I'm like a fart in the wind. The thought of like having a dog was terrifying. I'm like, so I'm gonna have to watch them die. I'm gonna get emotionally attached to them over 10, 15 years. They're gonna end up probably meeting like my future children. They're gonna be a family dog. They're gonna die in a miserable way. I'll be gutted. They'll never be able to be replaced. I'm gonna have to take care of them. I'm not gonna be able to travel. Oh, you got vet appointments, shots, all kinds of just bull crap. I'm like, you know what? It's freaking quarantine. What the hell else am I doing? Ashley makes it look pretty easy, and Mason makes it easy, so frick it. Here's the kicker right here. I think the master breed is a Cavachon. For those who don't know, it's a King Cavalier Spaniel mixed with a Bichon. A weird combination of dogs. Reminds me of the Dumb and Dumber joke that's like, what do you get when you cross a bulldog and a shih tzu? A bull. And then he's like, he's like cracking up. There's just so many weird breed combinations. I never heard of this one. I'm like, I don't know about that. But the cool thing is, they're super easily trainable. Very smart. They're lap dogs. And this was the game changer for me. They're non-shed. So whereas growing up and just in that Ridgway house, I would have hair everywhere, just caked over my entire body. I'd be doing insanity in my bedroom. There'd be the hair coming off of my face. I'd be breathing into my lungs. I'd be doing push-up position or like downward dog, ironically, and dog hair would be like flowing into my lungs. And I swear there is like a pile of hair sitting in there in the bottom of my lung hole. But this Macedonia, Baba Beats. Oh, yo, you're going back into the hub. We're going back. All right, she's calm, she's calm. Once I heard the non-shed, I'm like, let's go. I immediately went onto Google. I was like, Cavachon puppies, where are they at? For whatever reason, Ohio is like the ultimate breeding grounds for puppies. But I clicked down into the Cavachon category and there's nothing listed. There was like a few inbred dogs in there and I'm like, nah. I want like the princess. Actually, I didn't want a princess. I just wanted like a perfect dog. So I'm checking every day. I'm doing it. I don't know that Ashley was fully aware. I was like obsessively checking daily. I was like refreshing it like freaking YouTube analytics. And then all of a sudden this one dog pops up. I was looking for a very specific color scheme. I wanted white, black, and brown. I've envisioned it. I just want like a kind of a mutt looking, like all kinds of cool colors and styles and whatnot. And I found her. I wanted a girl too, because a guy girl, that's the kind of relationship you want. And I found her. Her name was Lily. She's right here. Look at her. You gotta look for the vibes, right? Look at her. You can see the side eye, little bashful. She's got an innocent temperament. I want something sweet, cute, innocent, pure, angel incarnate. And I was like, oh my God, she's got the color scheme. Her name was Lily. I love the name Lily. She's like a little flower. The whole bit was like, stop and smell the roses. She's a flower. The colors. She was going for like $1,000 or something. I'm like, yeah. And as soon as I would like go to like add to cart, like it's Amazon wish list, I'm like, that. I don't want a dog. That's a responsibility. I don't want it. No. Sometimes I get these ideas in my head that are ridiculous and then I regret them later on. I get very kind of pie in the sky. I'm like, wow, having a dog would be great. But then I think like in reality, I'm like, wait, no, Jesse, like keep your independence. You will have to be the slave to this dog. And so I was just like, I kind of talked myself out of it. The dog was sold the next day. I cried. No, I was pretty distraught though. I was like punching the pillow. I was like telling Ashley, I'm like, look, I was trying to get a dog and I f***ed up. Lily was the one that got away. I still swear by it. I wish you were Lily. It was unfortunate, right? You should never hesitate, guys. If you know you got the one, pull the trigger. I knew I had her. Up. So it didn't deter me. I was like, maybe it's not meant to be. Maybe I just shouldn't even get a dog, and I was kind of put off for a bit. Maybe a week or so goes by and I'm like, Mason's looking extra cute one night. His big and juicy, and I'm like, you know what? I want one of them. So I go back onto the website. I'm like, I'm looking at puppies I'm not even interested in. I'm just like imagining life with the puppy. I'm like, wow. I'm looking at breeds I would never, like a pug. I'm like, wow, that pug's adorable. Look at the eyes on that thing. I don't even like pugs. I think they're hideous. But like in that moment, I was like, I'll take a pug. Like I'll take anything. That's when I find her, Jenny. Her name was Jennifer. That's right, on the listing her name was Jennifer Jenny. I didn't even have to make it up. And I saw her, she didn't have the brown color scheme. She didn't have brown in her hair. She had in her hair later on. But she had the white and black and I liked how it looked on her face. And she had these little dots and everything. And I'm like, she's adorable. But more than not, you could look in her eyes and you're like, oh, that is the sweetest, most innocent dog ever. It's like a little kid when the grandma's like, Gucci, Gucci, Gucci. Telling how I got you, how I stole you from that lady. So the listing is immaculate. I think she's going for like $1,000. I'm like, all right, this is Lily too. And I felt the icy tinge of regret after I didn't buy Lily. So I'm like, I have to buy Jenny. But I get to that point of pulling the trigger and I out. I'm like, nah, freedom over doggo. No, I'm like caving in right now, not happening. I'm gonna stay doing my YouTube thing. If I get a dog, I'm not gonna be able to make YouTube videos. My life's gonna be all about this. So I didn't buy her and she got sold. I'm not even kidding. She literally sold to somebody else. And oh my God, was I pissed. I was like, not again. I was like, this is the second time this happened. I'm like, how? I made 2 of the same mistake. I started freaking out. I'm like, I'm a scumbag. I'm done. And I was like, I'm never gonna have a dog again unless it's Jenny. And I declared that moment, I'm like, I will get this dog. So all of a sudden, I don't know what the crack I was smoking. I literally called the number that's listed for the dog and I said, hey, is Jennifer still available? In this point in time, I already had in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, we're at the 2-year anniversary of MVE. Isaac, the song from the Killers, Jenny was a friend of mine. Jenny could be Isaac's dog. I can send her through the mirror. My brain had already concocted all these stories and I'm like, oh my God, this is perfect. And this is her name. It's meant to be. All kinds of universe crap. So I told him, I was like, I didn't tell him all that, but I was like, yo, is she available? He was like, no. She sold yesterday or something. I was like, okay. can I have her? He's like, no, it's sold. We have other Cabochons. We have this ugly boy named Thomas. I was like, no, I want Jenny. He's like, well, sorry to say, but she's already sold and she'll be going to the owner in like a couple days. They'll be coming to pick her up. I was like, I'll give you, how much was she? He's like, 1,000. I was like, I'll double that right now. $2,000. He was like, look, I can't do that. Like, she already bought it. She's very excited to have this dog. It's like, I was like, I'll give you $3,000, sir. Good sir, I will triple the price of that dog. I will PayPal you right this very second if you don't believe me. It was silence on the other end of the line. He says, yeah, we can make that happen. I'm gonna call the new right away, sir. He pretty much said right away, sir. He's like, I'm gonna call the other owner and let her know that she's no longer available. Thank you for your business. Yep, you can send it to this email address, and yeah, you can pick up the dog in a couple days. Thank you, bye. And just like that, I can only imagine he like calls the woman up, and I think it was this elderly woman too, so I completely just jacked Jenny away from this elderly woman. And it's probably like, hey, Jenny's no longer available. She's like, what? I love that. I'm like, yo, I dropped $3,000. That's right, guys. So the crazy piece of this is if you want something bad enough, you got to pay the price. And it might not always be money. Sometimes you just got to work really hard, sacrifice a lot. In this situation, it was like I had to literally buy 3 dogs worth just to get this one dog. So she better be extra special. And she is. So I locked her down and I felt pretty good, but then obviously there was that part of me that was like, what have I just done? How was I gonna get to Ohio in a short period of time? So that's when I enlisted longtime fan and friend, Brandy. You guys have seen her in previous videos. She actually is a dog breeder and she really sells a lot of like golden doodles, which are another non-shed breed. And I asked her, I was like, hey, would you be able to go pick up Jenny, my dog, and look after her till I can come meet you and we can pick her up? And that's exactly what happened. Now, I actually didn't tell Ashley that I stole Jenny from this elderly woman that I bought a dog. So I wanted to surprise her. Remember that she had just lost her smaller dog, Bailey. So I thought, oh, maybe this would be a cute surprise. So I just told Ashley, I was like, hey, let's go on a cute little date some random park like 4 hours away called Tenley Park. And I was like, I'm gonna vlog it just for personal reasons. So that brings us to the moment, the very special moment in Tenley Park where I surprised Ashley with Jenny, and it was our first time meeting in real life.
It's actually one of my personal videos, Ashley. These are just for memories.
Yeah.
Just for memories. It'll go in the BTS vault with all the Storyfire stuff. Sometimes it's important.
So it won't be personal forever.
I don't know. Sometimes it's important to have a personal moment, right? Mm-hmm. To have some time to unwind and stop all the craziness. It's been 2 years. This is my virtual escape.
Oh my God, is that Brandy?
That's not just Brandy.
That's me.
It's Jenny, babe.
Oh, stop me, you'll make me cry. Set her down.
Jenny!
Jenny! Oh, she came right to you. Oh my God. This is my niece, Carissa.
Hey, Jessie. She's so little.
Oh, she is.
Oh, wait, she's crying.
Sorry. Oh, it's nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th.
Oh, she's peeing. Look, that's hey, girl.
Look at you. Oh, yeah, you're so little.
Yeah.
That's right, Duck.
She's so little.
She's so little.
I was looking up videos of Cabochons at 8 weeks old, and they looked bigger, but his parents are registered, so.
Aww.
I don't know why I'm crying.
It's my new puppy, babe.
Why am I crying? Come here, my dog.
So cute.
When did you get her?
When did we get her? Or when did you get her?
Yeah, Brandon and I have been doing some dealings on the side here.
Right,
so.
yeah.
It got to be a bidding war of some sorts.
Right, yeah, it was kind of crazy.
It was like after you left, it was like a week ago, and I was like, shoot, I want this dog. And then I went to, I asked Brandy like what the status was, and she was taken.
Oh, she was at that point.
And then I told Brandy, I was like, yo, can you like talk to the guy and see if we can get a deal? I was like, I'll pay extra.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you paid a lot extra, didn't you?
Yeah. I was like, I paid like a premium, but the guy actually let me
Good girl.
Have her. And then Brandy's just been watching for the last few days, sending me
Brandy made a
updates.
meet like the day after I got her. I was like, I want her for like a couple days. Come on now.
She's like a little cow.
Oh, she's pooping.
That is a good girl. Her first poop I've seen. She's so little. I'm like in shock. Cause like the videos don't do it justice.
I know. When I saw her, I was like, dang.
What?
Little. And you know
Aww,
she's the best puppy. And I breed, and she's actually like one of the best puppies.
Really?
She's so good.
Oh, you still got poop hanging out of your butt.
Oh,
That's my girl.
let me get the
Poor
stuff in
Ashley. Ashley genuinely had no effing idea.
No. I was like, who is this walking up?
I like how you made the connection. You're like, wait, that's Brandy.
Yeah. Wait, what the?
to just plop the puppy on her stomach.
Yeah.
Plop it down.
Yeah.
But then she saw, I was like, dang.
Yeah. So I was like, there's no way you guys could get super close without Ashley being like, what is going on?
No.
Oh.
She's still pooping.
Wiping on the white sheet. It's fine. Yeah, Mason, how big was Mason?
He was
Like
double
twice
the
it?
size.
Really? This is gonna be such a small cabochon. This is gonna be interesting.
Yeah. Well, how old is she?
It's like 7 weeks, 8 weeks or something?
So I got him when he was...
8 weeks, yeah?
Yeah, so I got him when he was like 8 weeks.
Double the size.
Mm-hmm.
Dang. Oh my
She's
God.
still pooping.
She's still mid-poop while frolicking. She's got to wipe it on the grass.
Did you get it out? No.
No.
Still pooping. Oh my gosh, she's so little. She still hasn't. I think she's like done, but it's just stuck there.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I have napkins in that box.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna go grab that.
Yeah, go grab them.
Get to wipe my baby's for the first time. Let's go. I feel like I'm like the resident mother of like Luna, John, Ella over the years. Finally time Jesse gets his own Doge.
Yep.
It's long overdue. I'm gonna leave this camera. I don't even know what I'm gonna do with this footage ever. But oh, there's another dog randomly.
Yeah.
But this is a real moment. Yeah, right? Sketch coming down here is like so perfect though. It's like money. Guys, we'll see you. We'll see you again. Brandy's here. Oh, she's got Rona. She's got the Rona. Oh my God. Jenny, we're home. Hey, little angel. Good morning. It's time to go see you home.
You ready to get up?
Time to see your forever home. Jenny, come. Kisses. Kisses. Jenny, kisses. Okay. Kisses? Yeah, Jenny. She a good girl. Love you, Jenny, to death. And don't forget, keep it rigid.